Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a makeup look for you guys that's especially for those of you who are already working in a corporate environment, or if you are looking for a formal makeup that would go with a formal setting or a formal outfit. I hope this video will be helpful for you. So let's get started. My skin is super dry, so I'm gonna have to hydrate my face first. I'm gonna be using a gel moisturizer. This one is from Neutrogena. It's the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. For those of you with oily skin, or if you find that your makeup doesn't last throughout the day, I would recommend going in with a good skincare right before you apply your makeup. I would recommend a gel moisturizer, especially for those with normal to oily skin, or if you find that your foundation tends to crack or cake throughout the day, have one by your side. Just waiting for my moisturizer to seep in, and I think that is also one important tip. You want to make sure that your skincare is well settled and well absorbed into your skin before you go in with makeup, because that also affects how your makeup lasts throughout the day and whether or not it looks streaky or cakey. So I think my face is pretty much hydrated and it still isn't like oily. You aren't after that oily, greasy feel. Next up, it's foundation. I would recommend you guys to go in with a long-lasting foundation, preferably something that is semi-matte, because a glowy foundation kind of gives off a less professional kind of feel. And also, matte foundations typically last a lot longer than glowy foundations. This one is the Face Shop Ink Lasting Cushion SPF 30 PA++. Having SPF is also very, very important. You might think that if you're sitting in the office, you wouldn't have any UV rays through the windows. You are wrong, because UVA and UVB can still pass through. I will also recommend using a cushion because you can keep it in your purse and bring it with you to touch up throughout the day. So usually in a professional setting, you want to avoid looking like you have way too much makeup on. Our aim is just to make ourselves look cool and sharp and smart. So we are gonna avoid all sorts of glitters, all sorts of blinding highlights. We're just gonna go in with the safest colors, and of course just to make our features stand out a little bit more. So we're done with the base. Just a very good old matte foundation with a medium to full coverage. You don't want to go ultra full, because that way you will look like you have a lot of makeup on, and I don't know about you, but personally for me, at where I have worked at, going into work with a lot of makeup gives off a not so nice impression, so we don't really want that. Unfortunately, it is the truth. To be honest, for me, like, makeup is just a form of expression, and I don't know why it plays so much importance, but I think first impressions do matter a lot, and you just don't want to take the risk. So I'm still going in with concealer. I'm using my trusty old Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I'm gonna put it at the back of my hand, like so. And I'm going in with a sponge to only dab areas where I actually need. So I'm not gonna draw it on completely. I'm just going to spot conceal and dab only areas where I need. Next up, contour. I'm using a pretty close to my skin color kind of contour, nothing too fancy. This one is from Peripera. You can get it at, I think, Watson's. And I'm just gonna carve out a little bit of my cheekbones. For contouring, I am gonna go in pretty heavy with it, because having your features sharp and stand out makes you look a little bit more smart, but at the same time, you also want to make sure that it's well blended in. So I'm just spending a little bit more time blending it all in. Not forgetting our nose, same thing, just gonna very lightly contour the nose. You don't want to go in with two very distinct straight lines, because that one makes you look a little bit overdone. So I'm just taking the contour powder and going onto my eye socket as well. So I'm using the same contour shade and just going into my eye socket. And from the eye socket, you want to extend that line out to your nose. Also taking the contour shade, I'm gonna just carve out a little bit of shadow on my underline so that it makes my eyes look a little bit bigger and wider. Alrighty, so next up, let's move on to our eyes. Because I've got eyelash extensions on, I already have most of my eyes done. But of course, if you don't, then go in with mascara like you usually would. Today I'm gonna go in with my liquid eyeliner. Just grab any liquid eyeliner that you own. This one is from Benefit, it's the roller liner. And I'm just gonna draw a normal eyeline, not too thick. So I drew it till the end, like where my eyes lie. But I usually like to extend my eyes out a little bit. And today, let's create a tiny wink, so that it's not something too like over the top, not too fierce, but at the same time you want to exude that confidence in you with a cat eye. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna look straight into my mirror over here, open up my eyes and kind of carve out where I want my wing to be. Like this. And I will match the line. Same for this side. Now taking my Urban Decay Naked Reloaded eyeshadow palette, I'm just going in with a brown shade, just a typical brown shade. So you don't need to have this particular palette to create this look. And I'm just gonna apply it all across my eyelids. Same thing, lower lash line. And also, you want to coat your lower lashes with mascara as well. I'm using the By Terry Lash-Expert Twist brush. This brush is kind of interesting because you get a 2-in-1 brush. I'm just going to show you. So the first one is like number 1, where you have it completely straight. This helps to separate and lengthen your lash, and you can just twist it and it becomes a twisted brush. I don't know if you guys can see a difference. Can you see? Kind of cool, right? So for my bottom lashes, I like to just go in with the twisted portion because I find that the straight portion can't catch much because my lower lashes are just very, very sparse. And now let's tackle the eyebrows. For my brows, I'm using Precisely My Brow from Benefit. I've got pretty dense and dark brows already, so I'm just going to go in to clean up the shape a little bit to make it a little bit more sharp at the ends, so it frames my face a little bit better. And of course, let's not forget our Ariel style. You don't want to make this super obvious because you're not supposed to look cute, but rather I'm just doing it to make the eyes look a little bit more balanced. Also drawing my crease for a little bit more definition. Now it's time for the blush. I am gonna be choosing a shade that is slightly more mauvey. Something that doesn't have any shimmer, it has to be matte. So this one is the Etude House Blossom Cheek PK004 My Little Blossom. The shade of it is very like mauve, a little bit of browns inside, and I think it just looks really nice on every skin tone and it gives off a very sophisticated look. You want to apply a blush somewhat in a slanted angle and not too much. Last but not the least, the safest kind of lip color to go for is not your red lip, because once again, you want to create a very safe and good first impression. I always go for this lipstick whenever I'm unsure. It's my MAC Powder Kiss in Mullet Over. It's just a gorgeous nudish terracotta shade. I don't really know how to explain the shade, I'm so bad at it, but just want to apply it as per normal. So something that isn't too nude, but it's still not over the top and not in your face. And of course, you want to go for a lipstick that you're comfortable with. So if you have very dry lips, I would not recommend you to go for a very matte liquid lipstick, especially for your first impression, because your lips are gonna be cracking as you are gonna be talking. The best thing is to go for something that you already know that you're gonna look good in and that you're comfortable with wearing. Of course, something that is long-lasting, if you can, that would be the best, because you don't want your lipstick to drop off when you're eating with somebody and then it's not gonna be cute. And this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and talk to me in the comments box down below about how your first day of work went or whether or not this makeup look was something that you liked, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!